Hi all. It is the release day for the Munchkin collectible card game from Steve Jackson Games. So I stopped out and picked up the box I pre-ordered at my local game store. I ended up getting a box of one of the starter packs at a game day they had here in Milwaukee. So I ended up pre-ordering a box of boosters, and it is a tight fit, as you can see. And there's a promo card that came out. It's probably my fault for trying to open it weird, but really kind of bent. Something I noticed, so in the starter boxes, you get a booster box pack. These packs, Steve Jackson Games, if you watch this, which you're not going to, are really hard to open. Let me show you. Sorry, I'm moving the camera around. So you go like, that one was a little bit better, but the issue that you run into, because these packs are so firm, much harder to open up than like a Magic the Gathering pack or other CCGs. It kind of pulls on the top corner of the card. So when you guys do reprints or print out the boosters, please, 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 easier to open packs. So, we're going to start here with the Robe of Retribution. It is a loot card for the Cleric. The rare cards are at the back, so that will be the last card we see. We've got a Squirrel, which is a monster. It's a beastie for Druids. And if you see here on the cards, if you're not familiar with the game, this is a collectible card game. There's 300 cards in the base set, plus the heroes. So I think there's Rogue, Druid, Cleric, Fighter, Bard. So there's 5 heroes. So I think there's 305 cards. You can see the little, Bard. So there's 6 heroes if I didn't name that one. See here, you can actually see the little music icon. That lets you know that it is a Bard card. And one of the nice things by doing the class for the cards is that when you're building a deck, once you pick your heroes, so you're going to be a fighter, you need to pick 40 other cards to make a complete deck. And you can choose cards that are completely exclusive to the fighter, and then they have kind of generic cards that can go in any deck. So to build a 40-card deck, you can have 3 of any card. It doesn't take that many cards to get a competitive deck. So one of the nice things is with collectible card games, I know for me they've tended to be pretty expensive. But I think if you get a starter and a box of boosters, you'll probably have enough cards to build a competitive deck between the commons, uncommons, the cards you get in the starter, plus a few rares. And you do some trading, and you're going to have a pretty competitive deck. The next card is a Card Shark. It's a generic monster. And monsters in the game are how you actually do damage to other players. Boots of Butt Kicking, and what's really nice is it's not based on the Munchkin multiplayer card game. It has the same thematic things though, so it's going to be very funny, lighthearted. So there's the Boots of Butt Kicking. Biodegradable Armor. This is a loot card for the Druids, because you can see the little leaf lets you know it's for the Druid. Then we've got a monster for fighters. Field Armorer. We've got a Beelzebub, and this one is rated, at the bottom you can see it's got number 225, in the circle with the triangle, that lets you know, I think it's for the base set, that's the set icon. And then to the right of that you'll have C for common, U for uncommon, R for rare, and I think for X, I don't know if it's for extra rare or just what. So I'm going to have to look up online to see kind of what that rarity is. So we got a Beelzebub. We've got Explodia's Middle Finger. Sorry. These are hard to see, I'm using a really cheap tripod on my iPhone, and I'm standing above it, so haven't really figured out a good way to open all the packs on camera, so I'm probably not going to. Comeback Cove. This is a location for Druids. In Magic, you tap. In Munchkin, you zap. So this card comes into play zapped or tapped. And all monsters gain the Survivor. This ability triggers when this survives the fight. Deal 1 damage to target hero or monster. So, any monsters that I would have if this location was in play, if they survive a fight, I get to deal 1 damage to the target hero or monster. So that's a really great way to kind of tim your opponents to death. Most of the heroes, I believe, have 20 life. And when I played a few weeks ago, talking to Phil from Steve Jackson Games, he said most games take about 20 to 45 minutes. The ones I played in and we were learning took about a half hour. Aggro-Bat, and then the Recycling Ben. Zap, this is a Druid ally card. Zap to squish 1 loot that you control and take 2 gold. So gold is how you spend and buy things in the game, so this is a way to gather more resources. For this pack, I'm going to use my scissors. So I don't get any of my cards bent. We've got a Vampire Cat, a Dodge. So you can already see it's very funny, lighthearted. Going to use a lot of pop culture and fantasy references. The Munchkin original game I played way back in 2005 because I'm a big GURPS fan. So we would use it as just like a party game, beer and pretzel game, sometimes when we didn't have enough players for our campaign. The Munchkin CCG is going to be parodying, I think, the RPG stuff, but also collectible card games. So they've got a lot of material because Magic's been around for 25 years to kind of parody. We've got a Sword Caddy, a Bod E-Guard, Chainsaw of Bloody Dismemberment. This is a loot card, and this is a generic loot card, so anybody can buy it. Smite Unseen, Vazulia, that's from the, I think from the World Cup from Brazil a few years ago. Beagle Scout, that's really funny. And again, it's a rated X card, so I don't know if these are just alternative art or what. I'll have to look it up. Good Samaritan, ally. When this is squished, each hero gains 2 cards. So when this ally leaves the game, each hero gains 2 gold. So that would be not only your hero, but your opponent would also get 2 gold. We've got the Avenging Apostle. And then Smug. And then our rare is Epic Loot Inc. It's a location for fighters. When this comes into play, if there's a copy of this card in your discard pile, squish this. All weapons in play gain an extra combat. Combat icons are in the bottom left corner. So this Vampire Cat has 2 fighting and 1 heart or 1 life. So it can do 2 damage and take 1 damage before it's squished. I'm going to open up one more pack till I figure out an easier way to do this. If you guys like seeing these packs get opened, if you have questions about the game, post them at the bottom. I need to figure out a better way to do this, but I was kind of excited for the game. There's 24 packs per box, and my box ended up costing me about $90. So, and you get 12 cards per pack. So this would take a while if I was going to open up every single pack. So I got Curse of Quack. This is a Wizard Mischief card, which is like a spell. I stick this to a target loot. That loot is zapped and cannot unzap. So it's kind of like the Stasis from the Magic back in the day. They had the Stasis card that kept cards tapped. 3,872 Orcs. That's a generic monster card. Skewer. This is a Mischief for the Rogue or Thief. But after 3rd edition, everything started getting called Rogue instead of Thieves. We're going to call them Thieves. Hammer Time. It's a generic weapon. Woodland Workout. Glass Jaw. This is a monster. It's got 3 damage, 1 heart. What's really neat is this card cannot be targeted while it is in play, which is pretty nice. So you're going to have to find a way to do direct damage, I believe, to do damage to it. Elvish Impersonator. I'm in Wisconsin, so there's supposed to be John Kolvac, who did Dork Tower. It's supposed to be one of the artists, but I haven't seen any of his cards yet, so I don't know if his cards are more rare than the others, but that's another reason why I picked up the game. Mark Market. Hans. There's going to be a Hans and Franz card. And then my rare is a Halfling Ranger. Okay, so it's not a Druid, it's a Ranger. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, so that's my second pack. What I'll probably do is just do one more pack and then figure out a better way to open these for YouTube. I'm not a professional YouTuber and I don't have a video camera. I've got an iPhone and I bought a tripod at the Apple store so I didn't have to hold it in portrait. Salvage Salamander. Used Card Dealer. Backup Dancers. Ring Wraith. That's funny. Starstruck. Stick of Suffering. Jazz Hands. Blandy McBlanderson. It's got a TPS report in the back. That's kind of funny. DJ Tim. Nice. Zap to pay 1 gold to deal 1 damage to a target hero. So this is really funny because it's, again, supposed to parody CCGs, and Prodigal Sorcerer back in Magic the Gathering, everybody nicknamed him Tim from the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So that's kind of funny that they're kind of doing a callback not only to Monty Python, which is every gamer's favorite movie, but also the Magic the Gathering implementation of it. Explodia's Index Finger. Big Baby Bandage. And my rare is Home of the Brave. This is a fighter location. When this card comes into play, if there's a copy of this card in your discard pile, squish this. When the heroes run away, that hero heals 1 heart. That's pretty nice then. One of the things in the game, you're either able to run away or limp away. And if you run away, it allows you to leave combat. So this would be a good way to kind of, and you're able to do that once per turn. If you limp away, you take 2 damage if you do it. So this would be a good way to heal your hero. And one of the kind of conceits with combat is each combat takes place one after the other. So I can attack you with 1 monster, then I can decide to attack you with a second monster. So if you ran away on the first monster, if you limped away, you would have to take 2 damage. So there's a lot of different strategies. The game allows you to cheat because there's a bluffing mechanic. When you actually buy monsters, the monster comes in face down. So if I was going to buy this Salvage Salamander, it would cost 4 gold. But when I play it face down, and then I put some number of gold. And the opponent either decides to call me out on cheating or take it. And if I get it by them, I win. Otherwise, if they call me out on cheating, there's a mechanic to handle that. So the game is a lot of fun. I've played about 5 times now. And it's friendly to kind of everybody because it's going to support casual as well as competitive and league play. It's a really neat game. It just came out today. I'm going to do some videos kind of talking about deck building because I know a lot of Munchkin players may not have played collectible card games in the past, so they're not as familiar with the kind of rules around it. So if those seem interesting to you, just leave a comment or let me know. But hopefully you liked the video, and sorry that it's kind of janky because, again, I don't have a fancy camera or tripod. It's literally a tripod tied to the back of a chair, and I'm using my kitchen table. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.